Module 2. How much sleep does your child actually need? Well, welcome back. In the first lesson, we learned a bit about sleep and the problems caused by lack of sleep. In this lesson, we're going to answer that question, as I get that asked on a daily basis. How much sleep does your child actually need? Well, we are sleeping less than we used to. A survey from the National Sleep Foundation showed that children sleep an average of an hour less today than they did 30 years ago. And it's actually having an effect on their intelligence, their behaviour and their obesity levels. While modern parents obsess about their baby's sleep, this concern falls off the priority list after preschool. And even preschoolers get 30 minutes less a night than they used to. There are many causes for this lost hour of sleep, as there are all types of families. But overscheduling of activities, homework, lax bedtime routines, television and mobile phones in the bedroom all contribute. So does guilt. Home from work after dark, parents want time with their children and they're reluctant to order them to bed. And all these reasons converge on the fact that until now, we could ignore the lost hour because we didn't know the true cost to our children. However, sleep scientists have been able to isolate and measure the impact of this single lost hour because children's brains are a work in progress until the age of 21. And because much of that work is done while a child is asleep, the lost hour appears to have an exponential impact on children that it simply doesn't have on adults. The surprise is not merely that sleep matters, but how much it matters. Demonstrably, not just to academic performance and emotional stability, but to phenomena assumed to be entirely unrelated, such as the international obesity epidemic that we're all suffering from, and the rise of attention deficit hyperactive disorder, or ADHD. Now, some scientists theorise that sleep problems during formative years can cause permanent changes in the structure of the brain, damage that a child can't sleep off. It's also possible that many of the hallmark characteristics of adolescence, moodiness, depression, and even binge eating, are symptoms of chronic sleep deprivation. So, how much sleep should your kids get? With kids' bedtimes, consistency is the key to learning and development in a nutshell. Children's sleep needs depend on their age. So newborns need 16 hours, infants need between 12 to 14 hours, including up to 4 half-an-hour daytime sleeps in sort of 2 to 4 naps. Toddlers need 12 hours, including 2 to 2.5 hours of daytime sleep in perhaps 1 to 2 naps. Preschoolers, they need 11 hours, including up to 2 hours of daytime sleep in 1 nap. School-aged children between 6 and 8 need between 10 to 11 hours sleep. Tweens need, that's 9 to 12-year-olds, they need 10 hours. And teenagers need around about 9 hours sleep. So generally speaking, you should expect your child to be within a half an hour to an hour of these sleep requirements and guidelines. So talk to your doctor or your health visitor if your child is sleeping much more or much less than this, although it may still be normal if your child is healthy and happy and growing and developing normally. But these are guidelines to give you some sort of idea. Now, if you're worried about are your children getting enough sleep, these are some questions to ponder. If your children are not getting enough sleep, you might notice that they have trouble waking up in the morning. It might sound obvious, but it's actually quite true. You need to notice that. Are they sleepy during the day? Do they sleep in on the weekends to try and make up for not getting enough sleep during school days? Do they have specific symptoms of being sleep deprived, such as being irritable or aggressive, having a short attention span, or being hyperactive, many which are similar to the symptoms of ADHD? In addition to simply having a late bedtime or waking up frequently because of poor sleep habits, children may not get enough sleep. And if they have obstructive sleep apnea, with night terrors or nightmares, or restless leg syndrome or asthma because they'll be up coughing, or eczema because they're up itching, again, they may be losing some sleep that's vital to their growth. So talk to your doctor if your child has any of the problems above, especially if you think that it's interfering with your child's sleep. But often it's quite easy to get your children into a simple bedtime routine if you are confident about what you want to happen, if you are clear in your instructions, if you are assertive in your body language and confident in your tone of voice and are determined to ensure that your children don't mess you about. I actually run a popular 2-hour workshop on sleep that follows a very simple 5-step nighttime formula. And you can find out all about that by dropping me an email to sue@thesueatkins.com if you'd like to come on my sleep workshop. So now you know how much sleep your child really needs. It's time to look at specific methods to help them get it. We'll start in the next lesson with babies and toddlers. And if your child is a little older, you might want to skip to lesson 4, which is about preschool and early primary children. Or you might like to hop along to lesson 5, which is all about teenagers. See you in whichever lesson you choose.